Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Imani the writer, and I am back on YouTube. You guys, it has been a minute. It has been a journey. It has been it's just been a lot. It's been a lot. But I am so excited to be back here. I'm so excited for all the amazing things that are gonna happen here on this platform. It's about to be lit. It's about to be lit. Don't even worry about it. It's about to be lit. I'd like to welcome all my subscribers that came here from TikTok. Thank you guys for making this move with me and for subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. And I want to make this kind of transition to making YouTube my main platform as seamless as possible. I don't want anyone to feel like they're missing out. I'm gaining so much, and I feel like I'm gonna just be a better content creator for you guys. There is that one thing on TikTok where you can kind of ask a question and I can respond with a video. To kind of make up for that, I created a Google form where you can ask me questions through the Google form that you want me to answer through video, and I will use that as kind of like the whole Q&A thing. I mean, you can still ask your questions in the comments, but that will be the Q&A thing, you know what I mean? And I also want to let you guys know that Culture Craft is launching on June 1st. If you don't know, Culture Craft is the business I am launching. I will be your personal writing coach, your sensitivity reader, and a support system for you during your writing journey, especially when it comes to writing about people of color. So that will launch June 1st, so be on the lookout for that. And I have opportunities for beta testers. If you're interested, I offer 30% off for all of my beta testers. You can apply to be a beta tester. The link to the application is in the description box below. So let's just get right into it. My goal with this channel for the first few videos is to kind of review a lot of the material that I did on my TikTok, so that you guys feel like you're not missing anything, and that you can easily find the information that you're personally looking for. So I'm gonna start off with 5 life-saving tips when it comes to writing about people of color. So tip number 1, know that you have to do your research. It's a given. You gotta do it. You have got to do it. Even if you are a writer of color, you have to do your research into the culture that you are writing about. It's necessary, because even if you are writing about the culture that you are a part of, we know certain things about our culture, but that doesn't mean that we don't have cultural blind spots. For example, when it comes to Black men, I have a shared experience as a Black woman, but I don't have the experiences of a Black man. So if I want to write about them and write about them accurately, I should talk to them. I should read things written by them. I should do my research on the way they feel and study some controversial topics in which they have differing opinions, and just kind of research the discourse and everything like that. Just take your time to do that kind of research. Same vice versa. If you're a Black man, there is plenty that you do not know about the experiences of Black women, especially when it comes to intersectionality, dealing with racism, compounded by sexism, and everything like that. So you have to do your research. 2, you have to have an accurate idea of what a stereotype is. Beyond a stereotype is what I like to call a hidden cultural truth. What that means is it's the explanation for how the stereotype became what it is. All stereotypes have a little bit of truth to them. People didn't just come out with that idea out of nowhere. But the thing about stereotypes that make them stereotypes is that it takes a hidden truth, an issue exclusive to a certain group of people, and then they simplify it and condense it and completely take all of the complexity for granted and use it to justify a lot of mistreatment and discrimination against that group of people, because they don't really take the time to understand where that stereotype came from, or what kind of circumstances that group is facing that made people think this way. I'm gonna give you an example. So there's a stereotype that Black women wear wigs and weaves to look like white women. This is false. This is a stereotype. But we see a lot of Black women do that. So why is that a stereotype? Why do we do it? For one, sometimes we just want to do something different. I don't think that's a big deal. But also, for reason number 2, assimilation. For a really long time, it's been necessary for Black women and girls to wear wigs and weaves emulating hair types that aren't our own for the sake of assimilating and being accepted in society and being able to do basic things like going to school and going to work. Like, our hair has been persecuted for a very, very, very long time. We've been seen as not feminine because of the way our hair grows naturally out of our own heads, and it's been deemed as unruly or unkept or just too wild for the sophisticated white society or whatever. So the goal wasn't necessarily to look like white women. The goal was to live a normal life. But we got to this point where people started thinking that way because of what happens when we call out white women for culturally appropriating our hairstyles. And that is an argument typically used to be like, no, you guys do it too, so it's okay if we do it. No. First of all, straight hair isn't even exclusive to white people anyway, but I digress. There's a reason, and the reason is rooted in history and our culture and assimilation. Introduce your characters properly. There should be no reference to any kind of stereotype in the very introduction. First impressions matter, and you have to introduce your character as their own person, just as you would with a white character, and with their own values, their own principles, their own interests, their own passions, their own lifestyle. And when you do end up presenting the issue, make sure you do it in a way that makes it clear that you acknowledge the complexity of the situation, and that's not just like you oversimplifying, and that you're actually going to give it time and energy to really like dig deep and really get to grips on what is going on with the specific issue that you are working with. To properly identify a person of color, you need two things, and you need to do both of these things correctly. You need physical descriptions and cultural references. Let's talk about physical descriptions first. 1, avoid using food. Please. Like, I personally don't mind it as long as you're not doing it in a way that makes it seem like super fetishy. Because sometimes people do that and it's just like, oh. Like, I mean, I like my chocolate skin, but like, if you're writing a romance novel, please avoid it, because I don't want the main character to feel like they want to eat me. Please don't. Not food. Please avoid using food. Instead, I found these really, really great sources on the internet. I think it was on a page on Tumblr. If I find out, I'm going to put it in the description box below where I found it. But these charts are super, super helpful in finding different words you can use that could help you in physically describing the skin of your character. You can also make use of undertones. For example, I'm brown skinned, you can see the color of my skin, but I don't have yellow undertones. My undertones are very like pinkish, reddish, things like that. So use undertones to describe your character's skin tone as well, and describe other parts of them, like physical features. You could describe their hair, for example. If you're working with a black character who typically has like type 4 hair and you don't really know that much about it, hair videos on YouTube are a really, really great resource for you in really understanding the maintenance of how we take care of our hair. And really pay attention when you watch these hair videos and the people doing their hair, the stylists, are explaining to you how their hair feels, especially when they use different products. And also use pictures. Find a hairstyle that you really like and you want to describe really well, and just give yourself 10 minutes to just really sit there and just dig deep and try your best to describe what it is you're seeing in a way that sounds good, in a way that's beautiful, in a way that's accurate to what you're physically seeing. And then there's cultural references. Names count as cultural references because it's referencing the languages that the POC might use, or the language background from their family and everything like that. Also use things like clothing, decor, food, language, art, architecture, etc. These are all cultural signifiers, and they're great in helping identify where the POC is from and just identifying the POC in general. Contextualize all stereotypes. This is only if you really want to use your story to spread awareness about stuff. When you introduce the issue, introduce it in a way that acknowledges its complexity. And then you start diving into the complexity. going deeper and deeper and deeper into the issue, peeling back layers, slowly revealing different perspectives and different angles to look at the situations. And then you come to the core, which is the hidden cultural truth that a lot of people take for granted. It takes planning and it takes pacing, but you know, as you practice, you'll get better at it. First thing you need to do is decide if all of this is the main plot or the subplot. And then once you decide that, you have to create 3 main arcs within the plot, whether it is main or sub, whatever. First arc will be for introducing the character and the issue. Number 2 is contextualizing the issue, so that's like the second arc. And 3 is revealing the hidden truth in all of its entirety. And the truth should be revealed at the climax of the plot or the subplot in a way that's really impactful. So those are 5 life-saving tips for writing about people of color, and I will be coming out with more in the future. I hope this has been helpful for you. Follow me on TikTok if you haven't already, and if you're interested in supporting me financially, I have my Cash App and my Patreon down in the description box below. Don't forget, beta testing and culture craft. And if you want to send me a book too, I plan on doing like a little read-along series, kind of, when I talk about books that I read, put in some quotes and passages and talk about things from a writer's perspective in terms of like what's really helpful for learning material. And if there's a specific book that you want me to take care of and you feel like buying it for me, I have an Amazon book wish list down in the description box below, and you can buy it and I'll review it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.